Hi YouTube, just me. Hope you're enjoying the Christmas New Year. It's a weird time. I don't know what to do between Christmas and New Year. It's just like a really weird time. Anyway, I had an email today from a person. I don't know if they're male or female. They're called themselves Lifting the Veil. So I had an email from Lifting the Veil, and they just asked me what was my stance on Trump and vaccines. So Trump was talking very positively about vaccines, and what was my stance on that. Now, if you have watched my videos, I've spoken a lot about Trump and Hillary Clinton and the dynamics there, and Fauci and the lead up to the election. And what we saw is Trump lose the election and Biden get in. And now what we see, and that's with people individually and on scenes that take place, there's always a story behind the story. And that Toto taught me that, actually. What's the story behind the story? And it's finding the building blocks to what's actually happened. Now, what we saw is Trump lose the election, and we saw prior to that Trump go into hospital with COVID. And when I found out Trump had been taken to hospital, I went and looked, obviously, because that's what obviously I was going to do that. And I didn't find him in the White House. I actually found him in a military base. And wasn't doing well at all. The energies was horrendous. The doctors, people around him, didn't want him to live. That was the energy that I got. And he didn't have COVID. He had been poisoned. It was an assassination attack. And I spoke about Hillary planning assassination attacks on Trump. And, you know, Trump's a clever man, but it seemed that they succeeded. What I've seen is that he was put on life support machine, and they did was given a do not resuscitate order to his daughter, but she refused it, but he remained on life support machine, and he stayed there, and but, you know, a few days later, he was out in the public again, and I saw him, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, you know, because I didn't want him to be in the state that he was in. I didn't really believe in Trump at that time, and for what he stood for and everything, and, you know, I really wanted to be wrong. But then as we went along, and I did a Q&A. I do question and answers every couple of weeks on my Patreon site. You can join and you can ask questions every couple of weeks, and there's some amazing information that comes out. And anyway, someone was asking about Trump, and he'd passed. When I looked in, he'd gone, so he was no longer on life support machine. He had died, and it's not what anybody wanted to hear. And you know, because unknowingly or stupidly of me, I feel, or a big lesson for me, is that I put Trump on a pedestal like a saviour, like he's going to save us. And no one's going to save us. We're going to save ourselves. But what also came to light over that time is that Trump was connected to the good watchers, which I'd always seen. There's two sides of these watchers, what I call the good side and the bad side, but actually they're both bad. They're not good. And basically they fight with one another, and they have been fighting over our mass of consciousness, over Gaia and all the planets in this universe. And they live in another universe, and they've been in a computer game, and we've been in the middle of it. And what I noticed is that, you know, Trump's intent was for freedom, you know, a lot of freedom for us. But actually we're going even further than that, because what came to light is that, yeah, he wanted freedom, but actually ultimately he still wanted control. Like, you can, you know, it's like, okay, we want you to be free and be a bird, but we still want you to be in a cage. Where the darker side want us to be in a really small cage, you know, a transhumanism cage. He didn't want that side. He wanted freedom for Gaia and the people on Gaia and the other planets, but, you know, still a cage. And that's not where this universe is going. So what I saw in the power struggle between the two watchers, as soon as Gaia got to a certain frequency, a higher frequency, that got them both scared. Because if we completely came out of that frequency, of their frequency, they would lose control, and neither one of them can play the game anymore. And so they basically work together to keep the frequency lower in this universe, so they can keep hold of us and keep us dense, so they can get into us. This is another universe. They couldn't actually physically get in. They had to control the people on this planet, take over the people on this planet, with belief structures and their blue DNA, and manipulate them from a very far away. But these two watchers work together ultimately to keep control of this universe. Now, Trump now, what we see now, the Trump that we see on the TV and stuff, he does have Trump's consciousness. The technology they have is crazy. So they basically, what you're seeing now is a clone, and that clone does have Trump's consciousness. So it have memories and everything like that. It's an amazing piece of technology, but it's not the original Trump. It's got part of his consciousness in. So when I see these beings, it's like they have technology in their actual body that holds, our spine actually holds, is an interface into this reality, and our consciousness comes up, and we've got the female on the left side of the brain and the male on the right side of the brain. With these people, with these clones, they've got like this technology that holds consciousness there. But essentially they're just, they're a clone. They're not the original. So I don't know what happened in the hospital, if there was a transference or very weird stuff. But the actual main body of Trump has died, passed away. So you'll probably find I bet there's loads of people out there who do analytical stuff and actually specialises in watching people and the differences and stuff like that. Because from the day he got COVID, and he was probably, they said he was only in the hospital for a few days, because I think he was out a few days later. The day when he went in to when he came out it was a different man. So if someone went in and checked, because obviously I can do my remote viewing and seeing what's going on, but there will be other professionals out there who are about to do their voice, really check like their height, their eyes, everything like that, and see the difference between old Trump and new Trump. And there's probably many new Trumps, there's probably not just one clone, there's many, because what I've seen of clones is that they're very fragile. They glitch, they have skin problems, they have physical problems with them, so they always need to be maintained. So yeah, it would be interesting. So if it feels off, or it feels, that does resonate, maybe do a bit more research if you wish. It would be interesting. Get back to add it to the video, just be interesting to see what other people have picked up. What other things that come to light. Same with Biden. I don't see Biden. He got killed the day he won the election, or the day after he was killed in his bed. Boris Johnson, he went in with COVID, but they killed him. When he was forced into hospital, and he's dead. So what we're seeing in the UK, Boris Johnson there, but it's not the real Boris Johnson. It's a clone. He gets injections every day, and he's completely controlled. So really weird stuff. So my stance on Trump and the vaccines, of course, he's going to say the vaccines are positive. He's completely controlled and manipulated. He's not the same man that he used to be back in the day. I wouldn't worry about the vaccines, no, worry about the vaccines. I do see the vaccines being pulled in February, not because of anybody pulling it, but just en masse, because people are just refusing. We're just seeing through the absolute, seeing through it, the deceptions and the lies and the manipulations. So I do see that the vaccines will be pulled. Basically, you're seeing the fall of the everything. You're seeing the dark implode on itself, and it's going to be a very interesting ride over the next 4 months. Everything's going to fall. Anything that is based on the old energies of abuse, manipulation, or control, those energies cannot be withstand on Gaia anymore. Gaia has healed so much that that the people, let's say people, businesses, any government organizer, anything that is based on the foundation of abuse, control, or manipulation is going to fall. You're going to see the old world fall, and what will replace is good people with good hearts that are going to help bring this reality to a place where a really good reality. But it is going to be hairy for a while. I see like a fake alien invasion, and I mean fake alien invasion, I mean holograms. So I see holograms like over Sydney pulling people up from the sky into these ships, but they're just holograms. People are not really being pulled up into these ships. They're just holograms. There's going to be look like a Star Wars over our skies, and a lot of fear mongering. I mean, but I'm not really worried about that because it's all holograms. It's more to the fact of what they're going to try and put in place because of these fake holograms that are going to take place. It's kind of like the downfall, and what I see is that it actually wakes a lot of people up, just like 9/11. It's going to be, there's going to be benefits from this, because, and all the people out there have been talking about ETs and everything like that, and people have laughed in their faces, or you'll be out to there and say, well, here's the evidence and this is what's going on. There are ETs, not ET ships, that's the wrong word. There's these ships and they're all over, they're over cities. You can't see them because they're vibrating at a different rate. I saw them when I was 27, and they've come into my work recently. These are ships. They actually project over many cities, but there's actually one just above Gaia, and then there's a projection into this reality of these ships. Now, these ships are very different because they don't have consciousness in. They're just AI. There's no consciousness, no beings in them. And they produce skins. So they made contact with Americans and the Nazis back in the 40s and exchanged what the Americans and the Nazis thought they were connecting with ETs. They were actually connecting with AI that looked like humanoid beings like us. And there's a lot of people are hooked up to these ships. I noticed that, Elon Musk is hooked up to these ships. Gates is hooked up to these ships. They're hooked up to, and these are like motherships. Very much like motherboards, and they project frequencies into our atmosphere. Well, they're going to go as well. They're going to leave us. And seeing April at the same time. So it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's more that we don't have to worry. There's nothing that we have to worry about. It's just the dark imploding on itself. All the lies and the manipulation, their plan is basically going to fail, and their last resort is this holograms of ETs, like Jesus in the sky, and just crazy stuff that people are just going to go, oh my God, and search on the internet, and it's just going to wake so many people up. So it's a good thing, but it's going to be very scary for the people that are not awake and believe in Jesus and all that sort of stuff, religions, and have a long way to go. It's going to be a bit scary for them, very scary in fact. But we're all going to be there to help and make sure that calm the place, calm the situation down, and enjoy the show, enjoy what they put on for us. Anyway, so lifting the veil, I hope that's okay. I hope that was, hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for watching my videos. If you want to, you can, there's actually a free video and teach yourself how to journey. A free video, I do a free video. You just have to go onto my website. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, sign up to the newsletter, and you'll get a free video, and I teach you how to journey. And then there's like, I've put together an amazing, it's like these meditations, but it's teaching you how to journey more so, and heal your family line, your heart, your consciousness, to travel to your soul, to your higher self, to connect to aspects of yourself that need healing. And you can download that from my website if you wish. And I've also done one on releasing any medication that you've ever taken, to release out of your consciousness, because it goes into when we take medication into our bodies, and we start with when we're little, and with immunisations and stuff, what that does, it travels to the left side of the brain, and it stops certain aspects of the left side of the brain talking to the right side of the brain, which is a bit of a bitch, because it's the left side of the brain is everything who we are, why we're here, why we came here, everything, all the past lives, everything. And the left side of the brain is your connection to yourself. And this is why medications have been, one of the reasons why medications has been brought forward, so you don't remember who you are. And that's, why religion came in as well, is so you don't listen to the left side of the brain, you just listen to the right side of the brain, and then they program that with crap like religions and stuff. So there's also meditations on there to clear yourself and your children, if you wish. I have Patreon. I do Q&As every couple of weeks, and some fantastic, brilliant questions are asked, and it's some, because obviously I go in, I don't have a clue on most of it. I just go in blank. I don't know, go in with the attitude that I don't know anything, and the information that comes out is amazing. And so if you want to join us, you just have to join my Patreon. It'd be lovely to have you on board. And there's a lovely lady, Christy, who does group healings. She starts group healings in January, and she did some last year, and they went down really, really well. You saw the progression of the people, and when they started and they met every week, and they just became lighter and lighter and lighter, and wow. So they're really, really good. And Christy's amazing. She was actually, I met her, she booked some one-to-one sessions with me, and then she did, she did a reading on me, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh my God. I was like, she really saw me. And she's still amazed me, honest, because she's in, when I get to meet up and she does stuff, I'm just like, wow. So she's, amazing. So if you want to book one of her trainings, you can book today. And also Toto, you've heard me talk a lot about Toto. You can, from the beginning of my YouTube, I think you'll hear a lot about Toto. He's an incredible man, and he's joined Find the Light. So you can book a one-to-one with him, and actually he's a real being, alive. Amazing man. And when I first met him, I thought he was an ET, because the stuff that he could do and see and understand, I was like, are you human? So I'll put down some links, and thanks for watching. Enjoy your new year. Do whatever you wish to do. Don't be restricted. Don't restrict yourself. Have lots of fun, and they do what your heart wants to do. And sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the new year, 2022. It's going to be a crazy time. Okay, you take care. Bye.